The train rattled along the tracks, its rhythmic clatter a lullaby that did little to ease Emma's exhaustion. She stifled a yawn, her eyelids heavy, as she glanced out the window at the rapidly passing cityscape. It was well past midnight when she finally arrived at her station. Stepping off the train and onto the deserted platform, a shiver ran down her spine. The air was thick with an almost tangible silence, broken only by the distant hum of traffic. The walk to her apartment building was short, but felt much longer in the oppressive stillness of the night. Each footstep echoed loudly in the quiet, amplifying her sense of unease. Fumbling with her keys, she finally unlocked the door and stepped inside, the familiar scent of her home momentarily calming her nerves. The apartment was shrouded in darkness, the only light emanating from the street lamps outside, casting long, eerie shadows across the walls. Emma flicked on the light switch, but nothing happened. "Great," she muttered, "another power cut." Groping for her phone, she used its dim light to navigate her way through the apartment. An unsettling quiet hung in the air, heavier than usual. The hum of the refrigerator, the ticking of the clock, sounds she normally barely noticed, were conspicuously absent. It was as if the entire apartment was holding its breath. Exhaustion outweighed her unease, and Emma decided against investigating further. She just wanted to wash her face and collapse into bed. "Tomorrow," she mumbled to herself. "I'll deal with it tomorrow." Stepping into the bathroom, she fumbled for the light switch, but the room remained stubbornly dark. She sighed, relying on the faint light from her phone. Leaning over the sink, she splashed cold water onto her face, willing herself to wake up. As she straightened up, her gaze fell on the mirror. A gasp escaped her lips. There, staring back at her, was a stranger. It was her reflection, undoubtedly, but something was terribly wrong. The reflection's eyes were wide, unblinking, and filled with an unnerving intensity that sent shivers down her spine. Panic welled up in her chest, tightening like a vice. She forced herself to look away, breaking eye contact with the grotesque mockery of her own image. Taking a deep, shaky breath, she tried to rationalize. "It's just the light," she whispered, her voice trembling. But deep down, a primal fear whispered a different truth. Cautiously, she glanced back at the mirror. The reflection was still there, its gaze fixed on her every move. She raised her hands slowly, watching as the reflection mimicked her gesture. But then it did something that shattered her last shred of composure. The reflection's lips curled into a slow, sinister grin, revealing teeth that were just a little too sharp, a little too long. Emma stumbled back, a scream trapped in her throat. She fumbled for her phone, her fingers shaking uncontrollably as she tried to dial for help. But the screen remained blank, the battery icon flashing ominously. She was trapped, alone with the terrifying entity in the mirror. As she backed away, her gaze never leaving the grinning reflection, she heard it. A soft creaking sound coming from behind the bathroom door.